Hey guys, the topic of today's video is: will you survive? Will you stay alive? Uh, will you make it? Because of all that's coming, especially now that we're going into the winter, it's gonna be harder for a lot of people. I was just recently sick, so excuse my voice, but um, yeah, this time the cold took me a lot longer, or maybe it wasn't a cold, maybe it was the new thing. Who knows? But I'm alive. So if you ever go to the grocery store or ever buy anything, you'll notice that the prices of everything, especially food, went up. Right now, some of my stores that I went to, they have foods on the shelf. They barely even have any holes anymore. They have most of everything. My Walmart that I went to and I was gonna film the shortages, there was no shortages. Like everything was fine. There was like a few not so full shelves here and there, and especially in pet section, but he was fine. My local food for less had everything, even the ramen noodles, those cups. It had everything. So I don't know whether it's they got more stuff in, or people are just buying less just because the prices of everything went up. Well, I watched some videos. I heard reports that people are buying less now because of the prices of everything, and because more people are going to the food banks and stuff, so they have trouble giving having enough food for people. But that's what from what I heard. But I'm glad my grocery stores, they have enough food. Even Smart and Final, they had most of everything. You know, they had enough right now. I know some in some other areas, maybe some more rural areas or like some poorer areas, they maybe have more shortages than we have here. Please let me know if you have shortages in your area. But right now, for the last week or so, I haven't seen any in my area, which is like weird, which is like we're so used to shortages now. So while the prices are going up and the stores still have the foods, we can still stock up. If you haven't started stocking up yet, this is probably your kind of last chance, because right now, even though some stores might have the food, the prices are going up, that most people, they can only afford to buy like what they need for the next month or so. But in order to stock up, you need more money, and not everybody can do that anymore because of the prices that went up. Because the prices are going up, and if you still want to stock up, you gotta find the money to do that. Like, and if you have like limited amount of money, like most people, like, you gotta give up something in order to be able to stock up. And you have to either earn more money, which requires more hours, more and more hours out of your day, which is like there's only 24 hours and you need some hours for sleep in order to be functioning properly. But it's still kind of doable, even though lots of jobs have like hiring signs, but nobody's actually hiring. It's just weird. I don't know why they have those signs up. So what we can do is try to live more frugally, not to waste anything, and only consume as much as is necessary for our well-being. Like, not to waste any food, not to like overeat, which is lately I don't have much appetite, so I don't eat much lately, and before I would be starving on how much I only eat lately. But I don't know, maybe because I was sick, um, I can be okay with less food. And so what are you willing to give up in order to stock up on foods for later? Because the prices are gonna go up more and more. It's not gonna just like stop here. And if you think the prices are bad now, you know, they're not gonna get any better. So if you can barely afford all the necessities now, um, what's gonna happen like a month from now? Especially like because right now we have everything still in growing season. Stuff is still getting harvested. What's gonna happen like in after Thanksgiving or so when nothing else is harvested? And like right now in southern hemisphere, we know that because of that Tonga eruption, they're gonna have um, less harvest because of it's blocking the sun, and they're gonna have like lower temperatures and stuff. So in the winter we're gonna have less food, and guess what prices are gonna do? They're probably gonna go up even more. I know it's probably sounds hard and impossible to do, but in order to be well later, we gotta get rid of the debt wherever we can. And it's not only because you have those monthly payment, but because also you're wasting money on interest, and especially if it's like high interest debt like credit card or something. um yeah, that's a lot of waste of money. If you have a mortgage and your price not price the interest rate is fixed, like 3 or 4% or less, you're probably ahead of inflation because inflation is more than that now. But you're still having to do those monthly payments that eating up a lot of most people's paychecks. Even though everything's so expensive right now, we still gotta stock up. We still gotta buy some extra non-perishables every time you go to the grocery store, like some food, some canned food, some maybe toilet paper, maybe other toiletries that you know you're gonna need eventually. But you just gotta stock up, and it's better to do it now before, because the longer you wait the harder it's gonna be. Like many people say, like I heard, like, oh, once this and that happens, then I'll start the garden. When this and that happens, then I'll get some chickens. When this and that happens, I'll get some meat animals. And the thing is like, in order to start the garden, you need to have, well, even if you do have space, you need to have some, either the pots to put the garden in, or the like place that has a good soil, or at least to buy some bags of soil that you can put into the ground to grow your plants. Because I don't know how about your area, but in my area, unless you put either compost or buy some bagged soil, stuff is just not gonna grow, because the soil is like clay rocks. it, Especially if there was no watering for a long time, like you hit it with a shovel and it's like sounds like a rock. So you need to have supplies in order to start something. In order to start chickens, you need to have, depending on your climate, at least some kind of chicken coop, like with the chicken wire or some other kind of wire to keep the chicken in at night and to protect them from the predators and from when it's too cold or too hot, and some nesting boxes and some either um, wood shavings or dry grass or something for them to um, have something soft into their nesting boxes so they can lay you eggs. Also, if you start the chickens, because I have a lot of chickens, I know if you buy little chicks, you have to wait like 5 6 months in order to get any eggs. Like, especially, okay, if you get them in the spring, like in, let's say, April, that's April, May, June, July, August, end of August, and like September. So sometimes, like, if they don't start laying until the cold season start, some they might not start until it gets spring again. Because before, I got my chicks like early summer, start beginning of early summer, and I didn't get any eggs until next spring. But so it took me longer than 6 months, just because they're not gonna start laying in the middle of the winter, like in December, because that's when it's the coldest. And in depending on your area, they probably like, if you live in a colder climate, they're probably not laying anyways in the winter. If you live like I live in California, we do get eggs in the winter time, but it's a lot less. So it takes time to get any eggs. If you want to get like goats or something for milk, you can just get like a baby goat preferably female, because that's the kind that makes milk. um you can't expect it to just like give you milk every day, you know. First of all, it needs to like get pregnant and have a baby, and then it's gonna have milk. Or you know, and it's, that milk is gonna last probably like a year or less, and then it needs to be bred again and have another baby and have more, then you can have milk again. It's not gonna be like just like you buy a goat and it gives you milk every day. Well, you still gotta milk it, but you know, it's not like a machine that you buy it and then it's just gonna give you the milk every day that you need, you know. You gotta well, first of all, that goat needs to grow up to be at least 1 year old, then have a baby, and then you can have milk. And then you have to like get rid of the babies. You gotta sell them or whatever. So also lots of hassle. And in order to have any like goats, you need to have fenced in area to make sure it doesn't eat your garden or any other things you plant. So you know, there's a lot of things that takes to set up the the area in order to grow either garden or have animals. Before you start any of that, don't wait until the SHTF happens. Start now, because first of all you need supplies, second of all you need skills, because if you've never done something before, there's a big chance that you're not gonna get results good enough to justify all the expenses for the like, you know, in the beginning. So and right now, like in and before, like if, okay, if you waste some money here and there, or you have to rebuy something again, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when the you know, when SHEF happens and it's the matter of the survival, whether you get that cup of milk or those couple eggs, you can't mess up. There's a like very low margin that you can afford to mess up, because you know, the whether you're gonna eat or not eat that day depends on how much you get from the animal. So if you ever plan to start anything like gardening or having animals, you need to start while the time is good, because when time is bad, and you know, it's going to be a lot harder to start. And also, in order to survive, you need to make sure you don't give up. And you know, if you're just by yourself, you know, nobody else depends on you, I think it would be not too hard to give up. But when you have your family, your kids that depend on you, or even if it's just like your pet, even if just like one kitten you have that depends on you, you know, there's it kind of, I think it creates more stamina in your body, that like, okay, I have to survive, because you know, if something happens to me, this person or this kitten is not gonna make it. So it's like gives you a bigger motivation that like, I have to stay alive for this animal or for that person or for my family. You have somebody to that you're taking care of that depends on you. um you know, this will not, instead of making it harder to survive, it's actually going to make it easier to survive, because now you have to, you know, like somebody else's life depends on you. Also, we got to make sure we prepare spiritually, because um we are like the person, we're not just like a just a body that eats food and sleeps and all that. We're also you know, spiritual beings. Like we're humans, we're not some animals. We're like the children of God, who like who know, like no matter what happens, like how long you're gonna live, you know, this is not the end of the world. Even if you if you end up passing away and going to heaven, you know, I actually heard that from many people that, you know, this is our like a small thing, that life on earth, like, because when we get to heaven, we will feel like we that's our home. That's because right now we live on earth, we think like this is our home, we're always been here. But you know, just remember that whatever happens, this is not the end of the world, because even though our body dies, we essentially we are not gonna die like ever. So we'll make it, whether in this life or that life, where you know, we'll make it. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it's getting dark already, and yeah, the quality of this video is not getting any better, so I better go. Please write down your comments. Do you have any shortages in your area, or it all of a sudden got better like it happened in my area? What do you think are the best strategies to make sure you and your family can survive? And please share with everybody else because we all need to survive. Thanks for watching. Bye.